Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS here with another reacting to the Mario Wonder Direct, August 2023, for those watching this sometime in the future. But this came out this morning. I had all the plans of being up early, watching it, doing the reaction, so that I could have it out before the end of the day. And work happened. Didn't get to do that. Wanted to just watch it at lunch. Didn't let myself do that because I wasn't in a place where I could record it. I only had, I would have just able to watch it. I've recorded a bunch of people reactions. I got those all downloaded in my playlists. Normally, that's what I would do is I'd watch that in the morning, and then I'd be throughout the whole day listening to other people's points as they do their reactions. But alas, it is dark out. I'm home in the evening, and I am ready to, as a Sega guy, react to this Mario Wonder Direct. I love platformers. I've never been into 2D Mario. I tried with New Super Mario Brothers on the DS. I could not get into that, so I never even bothered on the Wii. I tried virtual consoling some of the older games, and I just couldn't. And I remember, playing at somebody else's house on their Super Nintendo and trying to play Mario, and I just couldn't get past. I had like this mental block of you didn't have a life bar and you didn't have rings, and it was like 2 hits and you were dead. It's like I could do all the jumping and all that, but it was just the constant bumping into stuff, shrinking down, and then it being like, and a lot of that was at the time I couldn't figure out like how you got mushrooms to get bigger again. I never got to playing Mario when I was young and willing to just put the time in to beat against it to get good at it, that now I almost have like this handicap at it. Now, I loved Mario Galaxy, loved Mario Odyssey, did not like Mario Sunshine, and I'm so about Mario 64. I don't think it is as great as a game as anyone, but that's also because I'm a little salty about everybody talking about how great that holds up and how poorly Sonic Adventure holds up when they compare the two, when Sonic Adventure, when it came out, blew Mario 64 out of the water. But, as time goes by and what we can tweak it on, that had better visuals, it had, it was accomplishing a lot more. But there were certain things that were glaring issues with it that, as they've aged, those seem more significant than the things that, how Mario wasn't pushing the envelope, now that they're both outdated by that standard. But I love Sonic Adventure, and I'll go back and play that yearly on my Dreamcast. So, honestly, I think the big thing here is this looked really fun. This looked weird. They were doing new things. I kind of want to give it a try. Another try at a 2D Mario game. And see how it goes. But without further ado, let's let this Sega guy get into this Mario Direct. Okay, here we go. Colorful world. Voice acting, it's weird.
Welcome to the Flower Kingdom, a not-so-distant land just beyond the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario and friends were invited here by the benevolent Prince Florian. But Bowser, the king of the Koopas, had other plans. With just a single touch of the mysterious Wonder Flower, Bowser merged with Prince Florian's castle.
Okay. It's a powerful flower. Okay, so flower people catch it.
Chaos spread across the land. It's up to Mario and friends to stop Bowser and save the Flower Kingdom.
Okay, Nabbit's there, the Yoshis. Well, it's like they're just flower toads.
We'll go over what's new in Mario's latest 2D side-scrolling adventure, the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Game. Let's jump in.
Looks like a fever dream.
This is the Flower Kingdom. It's made up of 6 distinct worlds that circle the Petal Isles, making a total of 7 areas to explore.
Okay.
Your adventure begins among the tubular hills of Pipe Rock Plateau. Once you get past the freezing foot of the mountain, you'll be aiming for new heights in Fluff Puff Peaks. Many trials await amidst the picturesque scenery.
The first level kind of reminds me of Green Hill, and more than it does World 1-1.
Traverse multiple islands, dive into the sea, and spelunk through caves at the heart of the Flower Kingdom, the Petal Isles. There's also an arid desert with
I like
sand
that.
as far as the eye can see. An uncanny forest lined with giant mushrooms.
Okay, see this forest looks interesting.
Full of molten magma and more.
And they showed like a brown sludge world, but like the fire world and the water world, like some of these in the desert, those just look like the Mushroom Kingdom to me. Mario's very repetitive in theming, which I find funny because Mario fans don't seem to complain about that. But Sonic fans are upset that they keep using Green Hill.
It's an easy way to find the ones you want to play again. While in courses, you might notice some talking flowers. Get close and
onward and upward. How'd you get up here? What a pretty sunset.
They'll talk to you, livening up your adventure.
I wonder what Goombas taste like.
They might give you hints.
It's kind of dark.
Or coins.
You'd share your water with me?
This will be interesting.
Besides Mario, you can also
Pluto,
play as
Toadette.
Luigi, Peach, Daisy, one of 2 Toads, and Toadette. They all play the same, so go with your favorite or mix it up. The Yoshis and Nabbit, on the other hand, won't take damage. They're a great choice if you're looking for a more easygoing experience. Careful though, they'll still lose a life if they...
Oh, I'm totally getting this for my daughter because she's going to love that. That's going to be totally her. Plus she loves Yoshi.
And spit them back at enemies. Speaking of enemies, here are some of the new ones you'll find. Hoppycats will copy the player and jump when you jump. Melon piranha plants will spit seeds from their mouths.
That's cool. I like that.
Fly at you and stick their beaks where they don't belong. When conchs attack, they'll even plow through goo. Mumsies can be unraveled if you position yourself just right. Mom-Mas will eat anything that comes too close to their gaping mouths.
Looks like
There are plenty
weird
more
Kirby.
new enemies for you to discover as well. Goombas, Koopa Troopas, Boos, Locky-Toos, and other familiar foes are also here.
Lakitus. No.
Next,
Hey,
let's look at the new
power-ups.
power-ups you can find. In elephant form, make the most of your nose and your size. Swing your trunk to attack enemies, destroy blocks, and even do this. In this form, you can easily break through blocks and dash across large gaps. See? If you store water in your trunk and spray it out, who knows what might happen?
Thank you. That trunk sure is useful, huh?
It's not just Mario, though. Luigi, the Toads,
It's a little different.
Daisy, and Toadette all have elephant forms as well.
Is that Peach or Toadette?
The bubble form allows you to blow light, floating bubbles. They can be used to capture and defeat enemies from a distance. They'll also drift toward nearby foes. You can take care of enemies surrounding you in one go, defeat typically impervious foes, and knock out baddies on the other side of walls. You can even jump off them, like platforms. Bubbles make it a bit easier to get to
like
those
that is
harder
going
reach
to make a
places.
lot of
Just like
things.
that. While in drill form, you'll get a pretty nifty drill. This makes dealing with spiky or hard-headed enemies a breeze. Or you can use it to drill down.
Drill!
Allows you to burrow and move
Yep,
through
just
the
like
ground.
Sonic Colors.
In a tough spot, dig away. You can even burrow into the ceiling.
Whoa! Wasn't expecting company.
Plus, the classic fire form makes a return. Oh, and you can hang on to an extra power-up. In a pinch, bust out a power-up. Or swap them to better fit the situation. This is a wonder flower, a plant that grows in the flower kingdom.
It gives you an acid trip.
This world's mysterious power and release it when in bloom. That's the power Bowser was after.
This is the gimmick. This is the cappy of this game.
A wonder effect will trigger, causing some interesting changes. Pipes might start moving.
This is what's like
A stampede of enemies can appear.
really shaking it up.
The terrain may tilt. You could end up in a free fall.
Making this feel like something fresh and new.
Bubbles might bubble up.
I know in the Super Mario Brothers 2 when it turned everything to coin,
Or you might float through
like it just
space.
felt so tired at that time.
There are even
But this
wonders where your
feels
character
unique.
transforms. Mario might become a Goomba? Or a spike ball?
See, they realized
Blow up like a balloon?
how fun that was in Odyssey and they want to bring it back.
Always expect the unexpected. Collect a wonder seed, and the course will return to normal. Some courses need to be unlocked using the wonder seeds you've collected. You'll also earn a wonder seed as thanks from a poplin when you clear a course.
We don't have to hear your princesses in another castle all through the game.
As
Badges.
your adventure progresses, you'll unlock in-game badges that change up the way you play when equipped.
Did anyone tell the Flower Kingdom that their prince is a
Let's go over
Caterpie?
some of them. Slow your fall with the parachute cap badge. Enhance your wall jumping abilities with the wall climb jump badge. Unleash a burst of speed while underwater by equipping the dolphin kick badge. You can also break underwater blocks. Charge up a bounding leap with the crouching high jump badge. Shoot vines in midair and stick to walls with the grappling vine badge. Recover from dangerous drops instantly with the safety bounce badge.
I feel like I missed it if they did mention it, but like, can you have all these badges equipped at once? And if only one, do you have to equip it before you do the level?
Magnet badge. Become invisible to your enemies and yourself with the invisibility badge.
It almost feels like you're gonna need a guy that tells you, use this badge on this level, use this badge on this level to get this power up.
There are many more badges with different abilities, from the convenient to the unconventional. Only one badge can be equipped per course.
Okay,
Equip
one per
them from
course.
the world map, or when starting a course. Or if you don't make it through, grab a different badge and try again. Some badges can be earned by clearing special badge
Yeah,
challenge
so if you're
courses,
beating your head against something, there's like, here, you can equip like
while others can be
superpowers
purchased
that
from
break the
Poplin
level.
shops on the world map. Be sure to exchange flower coins you collect in courses for badges. 4 people can play locally on the same Nintendo Switch system. Pick your favorite character and jump into the adventure together. If a player is defeated in local co-op, their character will float around the course as a ghost. If another player reaches them before time runs out, they'll jump right back into action. Your group won't lose a life either. And just so you know, if someone is playing as a Yoshi, you can jump on their back and ride them around the course. Even if you're also playing as a Yoshi.
Okay, but then who's controlling? Poor Yoshi! Oh, that's just so awful.
You might see other players on the world map and in courses.
Yeah, not interested
These
in
are
that.
people from around the world enjoying the game in real time, appearing as live player
No,
shadows.
in lag time, because this is Nintendo.
Co-op. If you're defeated, you can come back to life by bumping into a live player shadow. Players can send greetings and share in-game items. Even though you won't be
I
playing
keep seeing those
together
handle
directly,
things. I'm
you
curious
get
if
to
those are
experience
zippers.
a subtle connection with other players online as you
Pull
enjoy this
tabs
new
or something.
adventure together. You can also place a standee in a course. Standees can revive ghosts, so place them in not-so-easy areas and help your fellow players. You can purchase standee surprises from the Poplin shops to add more to your
That's
collection.
kind of a weird
you never
thing.
know which standee you'll get. When you come into contact with an online player or their standee, you'll see their username and heart points. These points show how much they've helped other players on their adventure. Reviving ghosts, gifting items.
I really wish we had something like this for Sonic Superstars. That we've gotten short little trailers, but I would love a breakdown of all the stuff in it. But this looks like this is going to be a much bigger game. There's no denying that. Like Sonic Superstars, I have a feeling is going to be considerably small as far as the amount of levels and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not worth the content, and it looks like that's going to have like all the costumes and the multiplayer battle mode. There's going to be some great value there, but I feel like when you're going to compare apples to apples, this looks like it's just got a lot more worlds, a lot more levels, and that's typical of a 2D Mario to a 2D Sonic.
Or syncing up with friends for riveting races. You can enhance your experience with online play.
What a beautiful day!
I dig this art style. I wasn't sure at first, but I really dig it. Elephant is a weird... was like... But I thought that about Cat, too, when I was like, oh, it's Cat Mario, and I'm like, why cats? Now I'm like, why elephants? Nothing in this, like, showed me why specifically elephant.
Mario Red Edition is also on the way. If you look closely, you'll find Mario and some hidden coins. The Nintendo Switch OLED
And for that,
model,
all the people who already
Mario
own one
Red Edition
that are
launches
super
October
collectors will
6th.
go out and buy this and keep it in the package. Okay. So what did I think of Mario Wonder now that we got a much better look at it? It looked good. There were a lot of things in there that were things that were avoiding the tropes of Mario games that made me look at this and go, yeah, I know I haven't been giving the last couple of 2D Marios a try because, you know, I tried New Super Mario Brothers on the DS and just really stank at that game and thought, why am I going to keep investing in these games? But my daughter really likes Mario, and she's going back and on the the Nintendo Family Pack, it's not Virtual Console anymore. She's doing like the Yoshi game from the N64, and she's really liking that. And the fact that they had the like Yoshi's impervious to damage go through this game, I think is really cool. And I know that's kind of a hot topic among gamers. Like, gamers are like, hey, when we were kids, we had to grow up with it. Hard as could be, this, that, beat against it. I look at my daughter, and if it was frustrating like that, she would put it down and give it up. She just doesn't have the attention span of that. I tried to get her to play, it's funny, she plays Mario stuff. I tried to get her to play Sonic, and Sonic is too hard for her. Sonic, for all the automation and stuff, like, she can't not just constantly fall into bottomless pits everywhere. But I know they did that with, like, the easy mode on Donkey Kong, which is a notoriously, I don't want to say hard, because, like, there are, really hard platformers, and Donkey Kong is, like, it's harder than a Sonic or a Mario, but it's not that hard. But then, and people get up in arms like, oh, this, helps them get past this, and it's like, everybody has to be able to finish the game now, and but I look at that and I go, that's good. As a parent now, and I'm looking at a kid and trying to get her into video games and stuff like that, like, that's good. And another thing that I also was very frustrated about is just how much, when I was a kid, licensed games were kind of there were a lot of bad licensed games, but there were a lot of, like the Cheetos game was fun and playable and stuff like that. And, she's kind of phasing out of it, but she was, like, super into Paw Patrol. I tried to get her Paw Patrol video games, and, like, those games were frustratingly buggy and difficult. And yet, they didn't have a single enemy that could hurt you, and they didn't have a single bottomless pit. And yet, she couldn't beat levels. And I just felt like this game, because it was like the box hit detection of how, like, far out you had to be, and you had to nail every jump, was, like, absolutely perfect. Like, that was how they made difficulty, was making jumps where you had to sit on the very absolute edge, and you had to be pushing and jumping. It was so precise to the point that, like, there was no flow to it, and me as an adult grabbing the controller was having difficulty making jumps. Someone who's plays a lot of platformers, and I'm like, in a world where there's no bottomless pit, there's no enemies, there's no nothing, and I'm just, like, constantly falling down. I remember there were some games like that on the Genesis that were, like, really bad license platformers and different things, that it was, like, specifically the hitboxes. But, it just is one of those things that kind of gets to me. I was like, that's kind of something like if I were making it, I would definitely, now having been a parent, been a gamer parent who's trying to get their young kid into gaming, make good games that target little kids. Because the quality was not there. It was like, oh yeah, it's easy mode, like, it doesn't have stuff coming after you, killing you, but that. And when I look at what Nintendo's doing here with the Nabbit and the Yoshis, is I see 3-year-olds being given a Switch, handed that controller, and falling in love with Mario. I see, I say 3, but yeah, at 3 was when my daughter started trying to reach for the controller, and I would, like, hand it to her, and she would die a couple of times in an instant, and she'd be all excited, and then she would get bored real quick, and then, a week or two later, she'd like, Daddy, I want to play the thing, and she died. Oh, I died. Oh, that's silly. I died. That's silly. Oh, stop dying. This is dumb. And then she'd get bored of that. And, it was that way. And then when she was, 5 is when I started buying specifically games for her that were meant to be that. And then she would just get frustrated with the Paw Patrol game. And so I look at something like this, and this is something that kids that age as early as 3, but like the 5-year-olds can play this, get good at this, and it's not just 5-year-olds who, I know back in the NES, Super NES, Genesis, that era, there were kids that played that as fun. But I remember, as difficult as those were, I remember when Spyro came out on the PlayStation. And I remember going over to a friend's house, and he had a little brother who was 3. And the controls on that were simple and basic enough that he could do it. Now, he couldn't play Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot was insanely hard. But Spyro, he could fly around with Spyro, and I was trying to figure out where to go, and I didn't know where to go and stuff like this. My first time, I didn't have a PlayStation. I'm playing around. He was I remember him going, "Give it to me, I'll show you." And he's doing this stuff, and I'm just in amazement, how is this little kid so good at this big open world and all that? Because it was my daughter's the same way with Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, she's not accomplishing the game's goal, but it's this big sandbox with a character that can hop around and stuff, and there's not a whole lot of things that kill you in Mario Odyssey, and she can run away, and the penalty for dying is not that big, and it's very much what Spyro was like on the PlayStation, and I feel like they're hitting that target again here, is you need these games, but this is putting it in a traditional 2D platformer. You need games where you can hand somebody who doesn't under the concept of, okay, this is the jump button, and this is the attack button, and they're having to sit there and think, and they can steer, and then they can hit the button, and they can't do them all at once. And slowly, of course, when they do them at once, they're rewarded. But they're not being instantly just massacred for not knowing that. And that, letting them play free in that, allows them to gain those skills so quick. Versus giving them a really janky Nickelodeon game that is not any good at all and is full of bugs or something like that. So this direct blew me away as far as this game. It's cool. It's looking I'm way more interested in Sonic Superstars, but that's just goes without saying. But if that wasn't putting out as strong a foot forward as it is, because if I was comparing this to say something like Sonic 4, I actually think I would be more interested in what Mario was putting down, because that looked really janky, but and it was. So, but this just looks like something I wanna dive into. So here's looking forward to it. With that, what did you guys think of the trailer? Do you like the art style? Do you not like the art style? Why elephants? Is that cool? It's funny. I was, Ruby Season 9 came out, and that was all the Alice in Wonderland, and this is kind of all the acid trip, reminding me of the Chester Cat and all that kind of stuff, and it just feels very woo type world, and were the developers doing acid and they tried to recreate that experience? I don't know, but it's imagination, and kids need imagination and wonder, and games like Mario and Sonic, when you look at what they were, their worlds were colorful and they offered wonder, and Mario has the new Super Mario Brothers, for everything it was and how amazing it is, all of that became very cookie cutter. They were reusing assets so much, and that's, if there's anything I like about this, is this looks like it's adding a lot of character back to the game, because that's something you can say about the old Mario games, is when you look at Mario Brothers 1, Mario Brothers 2, 3, World, Yoshi's Island, all those things, very different games, different looks, different designs, different color palettes, all of that changed. And when it came to New Super Mario Brothers, it was okay, this one's New Super Mario Brothers, and this one's on the Wii, so it's slightly better graphics, and it has multiplayer. And then there was New Super Mario Brothers U, which just added the tablet functionality, but outside of that, it was pretty much the same game. And Super Mario Brothers New Super Mario Brothers 2, which just added the power up that turned everything to coins. But once again, like all the assets, everything felt the same. And then you had the new Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World, which were kind of like putting it in 3D, but they were still kind of very, very basic in those assets. And I felt like the brand was getting a little stale. It was still good, it was still selling well and all that, but it was like, this is the same, which is a complaint that, as I mentioned, a lot of Sonic fans have. They keep using... Green Hill doesn't bother me. All the Mario's using World War 1, and it's like, and everybody's upset about Green Hill. It's like, it's part of Sonic's history. Chemical Plant and Angel Island, like, if you're going to pull in other retro levels, you know, put more Casino Night in, put, you know, Ice Cap, put Hydro City, let's not get into that debate. You know, put whatever it is in. Don't do those, because those aren't like, oh, those are the first 3 levels. No, those are just 2 other random levels that they've latched onto. And, well, Chemical Plant seems like one that it has the Angel Island one is just kind of like, why in the world, out of all the levels, is that the level that, like, Sonic Team is, like, just enamored in on? When I think, like, Ice Cap is just as big, if not bigger, than that level in, like, fandom. So, anyways, probably has something to do with legal rights around the music. Time to go. Hope everybody has a good day, and I'll catch you in the next video.